What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is absolutely crushing it right now. All around, it's crushing it in the box office, and it's crushing it with the fans. The fans are raving about how great this movie is, and it absolutely crushed it in the box office with a $120.5 million opening, which is more than triple of the original opening of Into the Spider-Verse back in 2018. So no doubt fans were super excited for this movie. They anticipated it, they were waiting for it, and now they are seeing it and loving it. And of course, right now, the big question is, when do we get more? And fans are asking that not only in terms of the next film Beyond the Spider-Verse, but fans want this big Spider-Man multiverse to cross over into the MCU and the Sony universe. And luckily for us, it looks like that is what Sony is planning on. And it seems like they are specifically telling us that yes, this universe is going to be crossing over into the MCU, and some insiders have said that this is going to kind of be canon to the MCU as well. Plus, Sony did seemingly confirm this with a very special cameo. And this is going to have pretty big implications for the MCU, specifically Secret Wars and the new Spider-Man story that they're going to be setting up with Tom Holland Spider-Man and Miles Morales, live action Miles. So we'll break it all down in this video. And of course, don't forget about our monthly giveaway for a chance to win a PS5 and Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. All you got to do is subscribe and leave a comment down below. Winner gets to pick one item. We pick a winner at the end of each month. So what's really interesting and really just awesome about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is that we kind of got a glimpse into what Avengers Secret Wars could be. We know Avengers Secret Wars is going to have multiple different universes in the multiverse colliding together, meaning heroes like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Avengers from other universes are going to come in contact with characters from our universe, much like the hub in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, where we see all the different variants of Spider-Man. That'll happen in Avengers Secret Wars, but with the characters I just mentioned from the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers. So Across the Spider-Verse is kind of a little preview. They had a lot of really cool cameos too, and these cameos seemingly confirm that the Spider-Verse is going to cross over into other universes, specifically live action universes. We won't spoil a lot of the cameos, but they did have live action cameos in the Spider-Verse in many different ways. It was really cool to see. And one cameo that was not a Spider-Man variant cameo, wasn't a different version of Spider-Man, it was a different character, did confirm an apparent MCU crossover, and we are going to talk about that character right now. Spoiler alert, click away if you don't want to know. That character was Donald Glover's Prowler. He appeared in live action in the Spider-Verse movie. Now, this is actually a very huge deal for two different reasons. One, of course, is that we saw him play Aaron Davis in the MCU in Spider-Man Homecoming 6 years ago. And when we saw him, he specifically mentioned that he had a nephew out there. Obviously, that is Miles Morales. So this is an apparent MCU universe crossover with the Sony Spider-Man universe. The movie already showed us that it can cross over into live action platforms. More than one universe was crossed over with. So it makes sense that they would also kind of cross over with the MCU as well. And to top it all off, we have reports from insider Alex B over at thecosmiccircus.com stating that the MCU is not going to ignore this movie, but will actually acknowledge it. There was a tweet that stated the MCU is gonna ignore this movie, not gonna lie, in which Alex P replied, except they won't, hinting that Marvel is going to acknowledge the events of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And if they get even bigger and Beyond the Spider-Verse, I think it would be really hard to ignore. Plus, not to mention, Spider-Man 2099 does mention the events that happened in Spider-Man No Way Home, talking about what happened with Doctor Strange. All of these basically confirming, yes, there is a crossover. The universes aren't completely separate to where they'll never interact with each other, but are indeed crossing over with each other. And we could see something big happen in Avengers Secret Wars and Spider-Man 4. We'll get to that in just a second, but if you loved Into the Spider-Verse and want to get to know more about the different Spider-Man variants and characters from the comics, you can check out my buddies over at comicbookdirect.com. They have created a website and company that makes comic book shopping the easiest it can possibly be. They deliver comics straight to your door. You can get one-off comics, or you can sign up for an entire run and get a pretty big discount if you do so. And they'll ship the latest issue right to your door each week. They have the latest from Marvel if you're trying to keep up to date with all of the recent projects. They have the latest from DC as well. And it's an all-in-one shop for your comics. Everything that you need in one place. You can sign up for a membership to get free shipping and a mystery box each month. And the next 100 people to sign up get 20% off their first order using the link in the description down below. Now, as far as what this means for the MCU, this is great news because it opens it up for Miles Morales to actually enter the MCU and not just Sony's Spider-Man universe. Sony has officially confirmed that a Miles Morales movie is in development. The only question is, which universe is it going to be a part of? Hopefully the MCU, fingers crossed on that one, but hopefully we can get Miles Morales and Donald Glover back in the MCU as Prowler. He looked awesome in his Prowler outfit in Across the Spider-Verse. I would love to see that in the MCU. And I would also love to see Tom Holland's Peter Parker Spider-Man mentor Miles Morales. I think this would be fantastic, but there is, like I mentioned, another reason why Donald Glover appearing in Across the Spider-Verse is so epic and iconic. And that's because Miles Morales was created because of Donald Glover. Donald Glover dressed up as Spider-Man in the show Community in 2010. This inspired writer Brian Michael Bendis to create the character Miles Morales. He said, "He looked fantastic. I saw him in the costume and thought, I would like to read that book." And they went on to create the character Miles Morales. So this is another reason why this cameo is really, really cool. Plus, Donald Glover actually did that in the show so he could campaign for himself to audition for the role of Spider-Man Peter Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man. Obviously, it didn't work, and that went to Andrew Garfield. But Donald Glover is partially responsible for the character Miles Morales coming to life, which is also why his cameo as Prowler in the MCU is also a really big deal and why Miles Morales should also be coming to the MCU. They've already set it up in Spider-Man Homecoming, and now they have crossed over into the MCU with Aaron Davis, the Prowler, appearing in Across the Spider-Verse. So hopefully this means that the story of Miles Morales in the MCU and his uncle, Prowler, Aaron Davis, can continue, and we can eventually see this, perhaps in Spider-Man 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. Tom Holland has talked about how he doesn't want to play Spider-Man that much longer. He doesn't want to play him into his late 30s. He wants to pass that mantle on. So we all pretty much assume that he's done as Spider-Man after he films his next trilogy in the MCU. So hopefully Spider-Man 4, 5, or 6 can have Miles Morales appear and Peter Parker start to train him to become the new Spider-Man of the MCU. And also, as we've talked about, this means something pretty big for Avengers Secret Wars. We have no doubt that there are going to be cameos galore in Avengers Secret Wars. But what Across the Spider-Verse has showed us is that animated worlds can interact with live action worlds, and it actually works. So while we know that we are probably going to get some cameos like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man back, and possibly other cameos like Leonardo DiCaprio suiting up in a Spider-Man suit, since at one point in time he would have played Spider-Man. All of this is possible, but it is also possible to see an animated character jump over into live action, meaning this character will appear in live action universes as an animated character, which would be really cool to see. We briefly saw this in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. However, they simply crossed over into an animated universe. They did not bring any animated characters into a live action universe. But with Spider-Verse showing us that this is possible, it definitely seems like something that Marvel Studios could do, even if just for a split second, just for a wow, a shock and awe factor. We already know we're going to have different Spider-Man variants show up, so why not have an animated one show up, even if just for a brief second? But most importantly, what we have found out is that the MCU is crossing over with the Into the Spider-Verse universe. And this is big. This is an extremely big deal, because now the possibilities for the future of both universes just got a lot bigger and are really exciting to think about. Imagine Spider-Man 2099 popping up and appearing with Tom Holland in the MCU, or Spider Gwen doing the same. Our Peter Parker already know that the multiverse is real and exists. Perhaps he starts multiverse traveling as well. Perhaps this is going to be a main plot of the Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. Perhaps Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to play a very key role because he knows the multiverse is real and can be traveled, because he has already met variants of himself and knows that he might need them to take on Kang and everybody else that he's going to go up against, and the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four will go up against in Avengers Secret Wars. This is super exciting to think about, but let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Also, we're on Patreon now. We post exclusive content there. If you want to help support the channel, you can check us out there. Also, you can check out our website where we post a lot each day, and we also have a Discord server. We'll link all of those down below. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.